Hi, I'm Jan Kowalski with Green Slate I Incorporated, and tonight I'm joined by Will Davis from the state representative from the 30th District. Welcome, Will.
Good to be here. Thank you.
And this is a live interactive show on CAN TV Channel 21. We're also streaming online at cantv.org/hotline. And tonight we're going to be discussing issues relating to State Representative Davis. And for the next 25 minutes, you're more than welcome to join the discussion by calling in at the number displayed on your screen. That's 312-738-1060. And you can participate with any question or comment relating to our topic for Representative Davis. And I'm Jan Kowalski with Green Slate I Incorporated. Let me tell you a little bit about Green Slate I Incorporated. Here's their contact information for Green Slate I. You can see these are post office box, their phone number, their website, and their email. And I know I flashed that kind of quick, but you're more than welcome to call in at the number on the screen, and our call takers can give you this information. Now, Green Slate I is addressed to issues primarily relating to ex-offenders. They have programs including reentry programs, Feeding the Families of Inglewood, and Kirby's Kids Camp. In addition, they're an authorized community service provider through the Circuit Court of Cook County. So if you have some community service hours that need to be fulfilled, by all means contact Green Slate I and at that number. Again, if you need the number again, please call in to the number on your screen and they'll give you the contact information for Green Slate. And let me tell you, I'm Jan Kowalski, and for those of you who are not of Polish national heritage, let me show you. It's Kowalski. And some people might find it a little trying to pronounce Kowalski. Some people might be tempted to call me Kawasaki. There's a picture of a cute little Kawasaki motorcycle there. But it's really not Kawasaki, it's Kowalski. And to help you, I have my little guy over here. Let me show you him. Maybe we can get a good little zoom here. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's blurry. Hold on, people. Maybe that'll help. There's my little guy. No, he's still a little blurry. But he's a little koala. He's got his thumb up there, and he's got his skis, because my name is Kowalski, like a koala on skis. And one more time, just to help you remember Kowalski, I've got my cute little koala there, and he is 100% qualified. And of course, I'm Jan Kowalski, and I'm here with Will Davis. Will, perhaps you can tell our viewers at home a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm pleased to be here today. Again, my name is Will Davis. I'm the state representative of the 30th District, which is out in the south suburbs. I represent the communities of Riverdale, Dalton, Harvey, Markham, Phoenix, Dixmoor, East Hazelcrest, Homewood, Flossmoor, Oak Forest, Midlothian, Posen, Robbins, and Blue Island. I've had the pleasure of being the state representative now for 15 years. I am in my 8th term, started back in 2003. In terms of Springfield, I sit on a variety of committees that have a variety of different interests. In particular, I am the chairperson of the Elementary and Secondary Education Appropriations Committee. Many of you are probably familiar with a major piece of legislation that we just passed to reform the way that we fund schools in the state of Illinois. I was the House sponsor of that bill. But in addition to education appropriations, K-12 appropriations, I also serve on higher education appropriations, which funds money to all of the state universities and our community colleges. Also administers the program called MAP Grant from the Illinois Assistance Commission. But I also am on the Public Safety Appropriations Committee, which is the committee that oversees many of our state agencies that include the Department of Transportation, the Illinois Tollway Authority, as well as the Illinois Department of Corrections and the Illinois Department of Juvenile Justice. Also a member of the Labor Committee and the International Trade and Commerce Committee as well. So.
Wow, Will, I lost track there. Is that like 10 committees you're on?
No, it's only a handful, only 4 or 5.
4 or 5? Wow. Can you tell us what's going on in the 30th District these days?
Well, the 30th District, again, is about 15 communities situated 100% in the south suburbs. Our communities are a wide variety of different people, multi-race, ethnic communities, as well as a number of different issues. We have some issues, some communities, that are doing well. They have development in their areas. Housing is stable, but we also have some communities that are challenged as well. some of our communities, as the focus with Green Slate is relative to ex-offenders, some of our communities have some of our zip codes have some of the highest numbers of returning individuals out of the departments, if you will, out of the corrections department. So one of the things that we do struggle with is how do we provide services for those individuals, employment opportunities, as well as just regular type of services that they need for themselves and their families. So we are a unique mixture of a wide variety of things, but we work hard to try to provide what we can for our residents, and working with my colleagues out in the south suburbs, developing relationships not only with our local mayors, but also with a number of community-based organizations who have the responsibility of attempting to try to provide a variety of services for individuals transferring or making their way back, transitioning, I should say, back into the community from the Department of Corrections.
Now, Representative Davis, if our viewers wanted to contact you, can you let our viewers know how they would go out and doing that?
Well, I don't have a website, like most. I guess I'm a little slow as it relates to technology in that respect. But nevertheless, I do maintain a Facebook page, which is just Rep. Will Davis. You can certainly reach me through the Facebook page. But more importantly, because I believe that constituent services is the most important thing that I do, I always encourage individuals to call the office. My office telephone number is area code 708-799-7300. Again, we're located in the village of East Hazelcrest, right near the intersection of 175th Street and Dixie Highway, which is kind of a major intersection out in the south suburbs. So again, if you have any questions, concerns for us, if you are our constituents, great. If you're not, initially, we'd like to try to get you to your representative, because if that's the person you vote for, that's the person I think is appropriate to try to assist you. But if that's not the case and there's something that we can do to help, our office is available and open to assist. And again, our telephone number is 708-799-7300.
Now, Will, you mentioned at the beginning that you're a sponsor of some interesting new legislation. Perhaps you can clue our viewers in on what's going on.
Well, I think many of your viewers know that education funding
Will,
reform.
can we hold on? I think we have a caller. Caller? Do we have a caller?
Yes, great show as always. Sir, I wanted to know why the last 10, 15 years, the African Americans and Hispanics have voted more people into office than before, and nothing has changed. It's only got worse, not better. You put the thumbs up, but I bet you in your district, there's more going down than going up.
Well, caller, that's a great question. Representative Davis, perhaps you can tell our caller what you've been doing for your constituents.
Well, I think what the caller, and I appreciate the phone call, first of all, and it depends on how you look at what's happening out in the south suburbs. I mentioned that we have some communities that are doing good, some aren't doing so well. I consistently bring resources back to those communities that I work with. In terms of road projects, there are several road projects going on in my district right now. Do we need to do better at inclusion with more people of color in the unions? You're absolutely right, sir, if that's the kind of thing that you're referring to. And we are working hard to try to do that. I've passed a couple of bills this year to try to make it so that minority contractors can have better opportunities to work with, like our Department of Transportation, so that when they are able to get on jobs, they can get paid for the work that they do. And that's a major piece of legislation. And also when they get on jobs, that the department or the prime contractor that they're working under will provide them with adequate resources in order to start that project. I work with our utility companies to try to help, again, minority contractors to have the opportunity to work. One that I can point to in particular is Livewire Electrical in the village of Calumet Park. Through my efforts, they have been able to get significant work through ComEd. So they're out in communities, in the south suburbs in particular, working on behalf of ComEd. So, I mean, there's a lot that takes place, or for that matter, in your opinion, maybe doesn't take place. But I think there are some things that we can indeed point to. Maybe there are some specific things that you would like to see happen. And if so, I strongly encourage you to contact, whether it's myself or your representative, and talk specifically about the things that you'd like to see happen. I was beginning to talk about a major piece of legislation that we just passed, which is to reform the way that the state of Illinois funds schools in state of Illinois funds schools. The state has not lived up to its responsibility.
How are they changing how schools are funding well?
Well, the state hasn't lived up to its responsibility, so this is putting us on the pathway so that the state is assuming the responsibility, financial responsibility that it has toward funding school. But it also, pieces of the legislation talk about having additional transparency and accountability in the schools. Many individuals are not always pleased with the quality of what they receive in their schools, but there was no real mechanism in order to try to examine that and to really see exactly what the schools are doing.
Wait, Representative, you're going a little too fast for me there. I'm sorry. What do you mean by transparency in schools? I'm not sure exactly what the legislation will do or change.
Well, we just adopted what is called an evidence-based funding model using 27
evidence-based funding.
evidence-based
Okay.
funding model. So the money is going to schools to help support issues that have been evidence-based or evidence acknowledged or researched to try to help school districts to improve the quality of education that they receive. So it's not just about giving more money, and we acknowledge that more is necessary, but while we're giving more money, we also need to examine the ways and the mechanisms by which districts are examining or spending those dollars.
Well, can you give me an example of evidence-based funding?
Right. Well, it's clear that particularly for districts that represent and that educate low-income children, that smaller class sizes is something that has been proven to be more effective when you're talking about children who are from low-income communities or children in poverty. And that really is without regard to what color you are. So our evidence base suggests that for a district to be successful with particularly the younger grades, you've got to lower the class size. So our evidence suggests that there is a benefit by lowering the class size to 15 students. That is what our evidence suggests is an appropriate class size, particularly in dealing with younger people. Evidence suggests that when there are more wraparound services actually in the schools, speaking of
I'm
counselors.
sorry, Representative, what are those kind
Speaking
of
of having-
wraparound services you're
Speaking
talking
of
about?
having additional counselors, additional social workers, additional nurses, those are the types of
Representative, we've got a
things.
caller. Caller, do you have a comment or question for State Representative?
Yes, Ms. Kowalski. I want to say that I really appreciate the senator's new evidence-based funding. I think it's important that through evidence-based funding, doing investigations on where this money is going and how the money is going to be spent. Do we need it in special education, or where do we need it?
Caller's absolutely right. The new model will allow us to be able to examine the avenues by which we are giving money to districts, and then also be able to measure the outcomes at some point in the near future to make sure that that district is spending the resources appropriately to garner the desired outcomes. And that's Senate Bill 1947 that I sponsored in the House, was sponsored in the Senate by a gentleman named Andy Manar from Central Illinois, is an effort to try to change the way that we've been doing it so that we can create all the great and necessary outcomes that we all desire from our school districts and for our children. Another interesting piece of this bill is that it suggests that every school district has a unique adequacy target. The adequacy.
I'm sorry, Representative. You're going too fast again for me. What is an adequacy target? I'm not really familiar with that.
An adequacy target suggests that every district has a specific amount of dollars necessary to educate the children in its district, which means that this district may spend $12,000. This district may only need to spend $8,000, or another district may need to spend more or less. So every district has a unique adequacy target, but based on the districts that are furthest away from their adequacy targets, the dollars will go to those districts first. So those are generally districts in poor areas that educate higher numbers of low-income children, special education children, English language learners, or ELs as they are called sometimes. So districts that have higher populations of those generally need more resources to provide that education. So if they're furthest away from their adequacy target, those are the school districts that will receive dollars first, and then we work backwards to those districts that are a little bit closer to their adequacy target.
Well, Representative, I'm dying to know, who determines what the adequacy target is?
Well, the State Board of Education, looking at a variety of different factors, they're the ones that determine ultimately how much a school district needs to adequately educate a particular child. And then we take that formula and we distribute money based on those numbers.
Do we have a caller? Caller, do you have a comment or question?
Yeah, I just want to say that it makes me proud to hear that there's progressive elected officials that are really looking at how best the money should be spent in this state.
Thank you very much,
That's all I
caller.
wanted to say. God bless you, sir, for your work.
Thank you very much. It's something that we probably should have done years ago, but now was the right time. It all came together appropriately, so we can again examine the dollars that are going to districts to make sure that they're being spent appropriately, and also this is a move toward adequate funding that we've never achieved before in the state of Illinois. So this was a great piece of legislation. It had a lot of support. Again, from myself, Senator Andy Menard, and for those of you who live in the city, probably are familiar with Senator Kimberly Lightford from the west side of Chicago and western suburbs. She was an integral part of passing this piece of legislation as well. So that's one great thing that we've done in Springfield, particularly over the last several weeks, despite all of the turmoil that's been talked about and not having passed a budget in almost 2 years.
Well,
we
we'll
did
get
pass
to
a
that,
budget.
Representative. Let me just pause for a station identification here. You're watching Green Slate I Incorporated live on CAN TV Channel 21 and cantv.org/hotline. And today's discussion is with State Representative Will Davis from the 30th District. And if you have a comment or question or want to just join the discussion, please call the number on your screen, 312-738-1060. Now, Representative, we only have a few more minutes, so I'm dying to know what's the upcoming events? What do you have planned as State Rep?
Well, myself and two of my colleagues in the south suburbs, Senator Napoleon Harris and Representative Thaddeus Jones, we are now collaborating to provide lend our hands to relief for the victims of Hurricane Harvey, and probably we'll need to do something relative to the upcoming or the current Hurricane Irma that's happening out there. So Beggar's Pizza, which is on East 147th Street in Harvey, will be a central location, drop-off location for the necessary supplies like water, diapers, toiletries, soap, socks, things of that nature. We will be using Beggar's Pizza, which is owned by Senator Harris, as a drop-off place for those who want to contribute and donate supplies that will be sent to the victims of Hurricane Harvey. We will be collecting those supplies starting probably Monday for the remainder of the month through September, and then they will be shipped to the appropriate place down in Texas.
Now,
as
Representative
appropriate.
Davis, suppose I've got some socks I'd like to donate to the hurricane victims. Where should I take these to?
Well, Beggar's Pizza is located on East Sibley Boulevard in Harvey. I believe the address is 147 East 147th Street in Harvey, east of I-57, traveling east on Sibley Boulevard before you get to Dalton. It'll be on the north side of the street there. That's one thing that we're doing to try to help in that respect, in that relief effort. Offices like ours do events where we encourage people to recycle. On September 23rd in Phoenix at the Obama Library on 8th Avenue and 155th Street in Phoenix, I'm having a community shred day where if you have old documents that are sensitive in nature, we will be shredding documents on site. There will be a truck there to shred those documents. In addition to, we are also going to be recycling old electronics. One thing that's generally not accepted at a lot of recycling places are TVs. So we're going to be taking old TVs as well. And also something new that we added for this shred day, we're also going to be collecting unused prescription medicine as well. We'll have a pharmacist on site that will be provided to us by Ingalls Hospital in Harvey, but working in conjunction with the Cook County Sheriff's Office, Tom Dart, we will be collecting unused medicines as well. So again, paper, electronics, unused prescription drugs, all of those things will be collected. If you'd like more information about it, again, please contact my district office in the south suburbs at area code 708-799-7300. I know that most of your viewers are in the city of Chicago, but if you're willing to take the drive out to Phoenix, Illinois, in the south suburbs, you are welcome to bring any of those items to our shred day. We do encourage you to call the office because there are some minor restrictions in terms of the types of used medications that we can take. We're talking about prescription drugs, not over-the-counter drugs, not liquids. Unfortunately, we are unable to take liquids. And with the paper shredding, again, you can't have binder clips in it, paper clips, so you got to go through it a little bit and sort it out a little bit. And old electronics basically are anything but household appliances. Unfortunately, we cannot take household appliances. So
But the Mr. Coffee can't come.
not the Mr. Coffee, but if you got an old radio, old telephone, old computers, even the towers and or the monitors, those are eligible to come. But again, if you call the office, we can either email a flyer to you which has all the requirements on it or discuss that with you over the phone. But we welcome anyone who sees this to come out to the Village of Phoenix on 155th Street and 8th Avenue at the Barack Obama Learning Center and drop those items off for us. We would very much appreciate it.
Now, Representative Davis, what about used paint? I'm always wondering about used paint these days. It used to be lead paint, but now that we don't have lead in the paint anymore, can you take paint cans?
Well, you mean the empty cans?
Oh, no, it might have a little bit at the bottom of it.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. That's a question we've never had before, so I don't know if we can.
How about batteries? Can you take batteries?
I believe we can take old batteries.
All right, fantastic. So
Absolutely.
that's in Phoenix. And say that
Phoenix,
again for viewers?
Phoenix, Illinois, in the south suburbs, 155th and 8th Avenue at the Barack Obama Learning Center, which is their library. So please come on out and join us. And again, even if you live in the city, you're welcome to come if you're willing to take the drive.
And this is completely free, no
This is
cost, no obligation.
Completely free, no cost, no obligations, absolutely nothing. Bank Financial has been a partner with us, and they will probably be passing out information, banking information, which you are free to take if you like. If not, certainly you don't have to take it, but they are a partner with us, and I know they'll be present today on that day as well. Maybe you might have some banking questions that you'd like to pose to them, and I think they'll have their bankers on site to answer those questions. In addition, again, to having a pharmacist on site that may be able to answer some of your questions relative to the medicines maybe you're returning, what have you. So it's a good day. We've done them twice a year for the last 5 years. They're always successful. We moved them around the district to different communities. So hopefully, if you're willing to take the drive, come out to Phoenix, Illinois on Saturday, September 23rd from 9 until noon. Forgot that. 9 until noon, September 23rd. We'll be out there collecting all of those used items and shredding paper on site.
Now, Representative, it is going to be a voting year coming up in 2018 for you, and I understand that you're up for election again.
Yes.
Before we conclude, I just wanted to know if you wanted to say anything to your prospective voters out there.
Well, first of all, I appreciate the opportunity to have served you for now 15 years. I'm in the middle of my 8th term. I look forward to continuing to serve. Our office is focused on constituent services, so we try to address every issue that comes into our office. Even if you're not our constituent and we feel there's something that we can do to help, we'll be more than happy to try to help. We think we've done a good job for the 30th District. Like the earlier caller talked about, there's always more you can do, and some of it comes when we have an opportunity to dialogue with our constituents. So if you've got some concerns about something, some thoughts or ideas, please give our office a call and share those ideas with us. Who knows if that might turn into a piece of legislation. And again, some of the best pieces of legislation come from regular everyday people who are dealing with a broad variety of challenges, who take the time to come talk to us about it. And if we can impact that person's situation, we certainly work to try to do so.
Now, Representative, if I need my leaves raked, should I be calling your office?
Well,
do you do that kind of services?
Well, not me, but if you live in the south suburbs, I strongly encourage you to contact the township. Whether it's Thornton Township, Bloom Township, Bremen, or Rich Township, they often provide services, particularly for seniors or those who are unable to get out and rake, or for that matter, snow, shovel their snow in the winter, and sometimes even cut their grass in the summertime. Townships provide that kind of service, and this is where government works together. While it's not something that I do or can do as a representative, but you have township government, which kind of fills the gap there and can provide those kinds of very local services to individuals, particularly when your own municipality may or may not provide those services as well. So it's just a matter of picking up the phone and calling. But again, when constituents reach out to us and they share with us what their needs are, our job is to try to point them in the right direction so they can try to get their needs or concerns addressed appropriately.
So, Representative, if I don't have the number for Bloom Township handy, can I call your offices?
Yes, you can.
708-799?
7300. That is our office. I only have my district director that works in the office with me. Please call us.
Fantastic. And the recycling day is coming up on what day again?
Saturday, September 3rd at Phoenix, Illinois, the Barack Obama Learning Center, 155th and 8th Avenue, from 9 until noon.
Thank you. And thank you for watching tonight, viewers, and participating in today's show. Of course, I'm Jan Kowalski, my little koala on skis, and I'm here for Green Slate 1. And my guest tonight has been State Representative Will Davis from the 30th District. Thank you for joining us, Will.
Thank you.
And thank you, and good night.